The nukes are flying. Get to your bunkers. This is the apocalypse. We're getting word that one has already hit in Toronto. Avs win over the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-1. I struggle sometimes to review hockey games like this. Just straight up good hockey games from start to finish. For long, extended stretches, not only is it fun to watch, it's exciting, and almost all of it is quality play in one way or another. There aren't those clip-it moments, the highlights. They do come through eventually, but that leaves out so much because the hockey was just that good. From start to finish, these teams looked extremely evenly matched, and that's really good news for the Avs considering they're still missing Landeskog and Burakovsky as well as Eric Johnson. It's just fun watching the Avs go down and get a great opportunity that gets stopped by Anderson, and then the Leafs go the other way, but Grubauer denies them. You'll see Girard make a great breakout. You'll see Makar make a great breakout. Then on the other side, Barry and Riley each have fantastic breakouts, and it's just two teams going at it full bore. Sometimes the offense would get the better of the defense and create a quality opportunity. Other times the defense would be able to break up the play, and everyone on each side was pitching in their own ways. The Avs seemed to get the better of the possession early in the first, but by the end of it, it was extremely even, with Toronto outshooting the Avs 12-10 in the period, but the quality shots were pretty much spot on equal. Neither team was willing to give in. They were both trying to play similar styles, and they wanted to be the ones in the driver's seat. The one area where I do think the Avs got the better of the Leafs was in the physicality department. First of all, Nazem Kadri, his first game back in Toronto with a team other than the Leafs, got a nice tribute, which well-deserved, of course. Congratulations to him. But he was also a bit of the pest that he always is and wasn't afraid to blow someone up if that was what was required. And then Nikita Zadorov had numerous big hits throughout the game. He was maybe the most engaged we've seen him all season. Not only the big hits, but playing extremely effectively on that defensive side. This is where the Avs were able to separate themselves a bit when the game was on even footing. But it was 0-0 after 1, with neither team having much to show for it. And then in the second period, both teams seemed to up the offensive intensity a little bit. They would both start getting a bit longer stretches in the offensive zone with multiple opportunities, but both goalies were standing tall. Grubauer had a couple of very, very strong sequences denying the Leafs, and then Anderson would rob a few Avs as well. I know it seems silly to say this in a game review, but if I had to pick one game to go watch of the Avs back from this season, it would be this one. 9-4 blowout against Nashville is nice, or that 7-3 game against Chicago the other night, that's great, but there's something special when it's two very good teams playing against each other, and both are being effective. I can't speak for anyone else, especially not younger generations, but I can speak for myself, and I know a lot of people that will agree with me that grew up during the dead puck era. There's something to these low-scoring games that just make the goals mean that much more when there are less of them. Every goal is a highlight to an extent, but in a game where the final score was essentially 2-1 and then you add an empty netter, every goal feels like a moment in the game, a critical turning point. And when it takes a while to get to one, especially the first one, the tension just builds all the way through. And the Avs played extremely well through that, especially in the second period. Something new I noticed from them is how well they were playing in the neutral zone. They were very aggressive on Leafs puck carriers and at times completely smothered the play. For a team that has often struggled to even hold up play at their own blue line, tonight the Leafs struggled to get past the red line pretty regularly. And when you frustrate a team like that, they eventually take penalties. And a bit over halfway through the game, The first one finally comes, and the Avs get the power play opportunity. Now, drawing a power play is great, but in a game like this, converting it is critical. And with Mikko Rantanen back in the lineup, the McKinnon-Mikko connection is back. And when that's clicking, the power play, it just works. McKinnon's going to get the zone entry here before dropping the puck back to Kadri. Kadri actually doesn't have a ton of room here, but he does a good job to get the puck back to the last man into the zone as Cale Makar collects it. Makar gets to step into this. You can see the Leafs were drawn in deep by both McKinnon and Kadri, so he has a lot of room to move and cut to the center. Now, we regularly do see Makar shoot the puck from here, but this time the Leafs commit back to him, and the Avs continue to move the puck effectively into open space. Look at all of the room Rantanen is given here. So Makar gets it over to him, and he can work it down into the offensive zone as he loves to do. And this is where the Avs can win the respect battle. With Mikko back in the lineup, the Leafs respect that far side look for the Avs, so they give him space. They don't want to overcommit and get beat. This creates time, which allows McKinnon to get back up higher into the zone, find that slot where the defenders are not covering, and you know Mikko's good enough to hit him. A beautiful seam pass as the Leafs once again overcommit to the puck side. Not so different from the Avs PK. When it's struggling, McKinnon has all the time in the world to collect the puck, get it settled, pick his spot, and then just unbelievable shot. I mean, you cannot shoot the puck better than this, bar and in, over the shoulder of Anderson. That's just perfect. It almost felt by the book, the way the Avs managed to score by drawing the first power play in the game, and then the goal itself is multiple very nice reads and very nice plays stacked on top of each other. That's how good you have to be. That's how effective you have to be when it's two good teams playing against each other. The Avs take a deserved 1-0 lead, and it's right back to it. Both teams playing strong. And this wasn't a perfect game. Both teams made plenty of mistakes. It was just that most of the time it would be a one-off mistake, and then the team would course correct, make up for it, or make the next correct play to get things out of danger. At least until the Avs got this 1-0 lead, and then less than 2 minutes later, they let the issues stack up, and it's back to tied quickly. Not the best camera angle here, but you're going to see Makar is winning a race back to a dumped-in puck and is going to head in behind his own nets. Now, a couple of issues happen here. As he's going behind the net, he actually is very effective. He even gets Hyman to fall down, so he has plenty of space and time to work with behind his net here, and he even has Ryan Graves circling back in behind to be a safety valve. Now, I'm not sure if there's a lack of communication from the Avs or if Makar just panicked and decided to chip this up the boards in the direction that he was going. As you'll see here when the camera pans out in a second, he chipped his puck up to Nazem Kadri on a side that was overloaded with 3 Leafs players when he could have simply just reversed the puck back to Ryan Graves and had a wide open half of the ice to work with for the breakout. This was either a bad decision by Makar or poor communication from the Avs on the breakout. Very likely it was both. So sloppiness results to Kadri entering in a puck battle, which he eventually loses, and as Kerfoot controls this puck, he just whips it out to the front of the net, which eventually leads to a goal against as Makar, for the second time, gets caught in no man's land here, as Graves has stepped up to take the puck carrier. I appreciate this from Ryan Graves. I like that Graves has done this. Otherwise, it would have been 2 defensemen on 1 guy. Again, Makar just kind of didn't realize what was happening. If Graves steps up, he needs to slide down and take Hyman in front of the net. He's late to do so, and Hyman is able to chip it in. Even gods can bleed. Cale Makar with a pretty rough shift around the edges. I still think he had a solid game on the whole, but that was definitely a low point for him. And just like that, the lead is erased. It's a 1-1 game, and both teams are fully capable of running away with it at any moment. If one team falters, the other one is ready to capitalize. The talent is obviously there on both sides. McKinnon, Rantanen, Kadri. On the other side, Matthews, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, you name it. Honestly, the Leafs probably even had more weapons given the fact that the Avs still have a couple of injuries, but they hung tough, and a lot of that is Matt Calvert back in the lineup. The guy just has no off button. He is absolutely relentless and can turn a bottom six line for the Avs into one that is capable of outpossessing nearly any line, even some top six lines. This game felt a little bit like a gentleman's agreement. Yes, the Avs were more physical, but there wasn't that playoff feel, that extremely heavy hitting, maybe even a little bit of dirtiness going on. No, this was two teams going out and saying, may the best team win this one. And ultimately, that would be the Avs, because one, from here on out, Grubauer would not allow a thing. Played a fantastic game, posting some beautiful numbers, and really was exactly what the Avs needed. Getting a win off of your goalie, those are the extra points you can pick up during the regular season. That's how you get home ice in the playoffs. So it's tied 1-1 after 2, and 15 seconds into the third period, Jake Muzzin high sticks Mikko Rantanen and draws blood. Rantanen's fine, nothing to worry about there, but it is a 4-minute power play for the Avs. Another opportunity to take an advantage in this game. This time, the Avs strike out. It was not a good 4 minutes of power play in any way, shape, or form. Just bad news. When you let opportunities pass you by, especially in a game like this, it usually comes back to bite you. And you absolutely knew there was going to be a call coming back the other way against the Avs, and it doesn't take that long after the power play expires to get it. And the Avs responded. The first minute and a half of the power play was immaculate. A great job denying the Leafs and even spending time pinning the puck in their zone, till finally they get it set up, and there starts to be a little bit of danger here and there. Now, that isn't that surprising. The Avs PK has had long stretches of being quality just in that exact way throughout this season. But what was unexpected was what Val Nichushkin did, and that being the best player on the ice for either team for a lot of this game. I just want to set the stage here because Val had multiple fantastic opportunities in this game. At that point, he already had 4 shots on goal, but just couldn't get one to go just yet. And he had also played very effectively on the defensive side as well, at times even acting as the F3 and managing the net front, pushing guys out so Grubauer could see pucks. And this is the best game he's played this year by a wide margin. So when Toronto makes this mistake, I think of it more as Val getting rewarded. Spezza's going to try a slap shot from out high at the top of the circle. First, Grubauer makes the save, but also Spezza's stick explodes. So as the puck gets rimmed out by Ian Cole, there creates an awkward situation where Spezza doesn't have a stick to play the puck, but tried to go and kick it. But at the same time, Riley is coming to collect it. He can play it just fine with his stick. Lack of communication. Neither of them talk. The puck just sits there. They're both confused as no one's really sure what's going on. Spezza just ends up in the way. It's a mess here, and the puck gets just loose enough for a charging Nichushkin to poke it away. They're both standing still. It's off to the races. Nuke is gone. He can walk in on Anderson and beats him clean glove side from the forehand. This coming from a guy that it took 91 games without scoring a goal to finally get another one. And now he's got 3 in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and multiple of them have come on breakaways, which is almost even more mind-boggling. Is the first 15 games of the season, he had half a dozen breakaways, and every time just fired it right into the goalie's chest. I don't know where this Val Nichushkin came from, but if he wants to stick around, he is more than welcome. And that's your game-winning goal right there. A short-handed goal from Val Nichushkin in a game where the Avalanche played the Maple Leafs. Maybe the least likely hero on the ice. You couldn't write this. That's what makes hockey so amazing. The rest of the game was admittedly a bit dicey. The Avs did back off their offense a bit, and Toronto pushed extremely hard, but they held the line. Not too many second chance opportunities, and when there was one, Grubauer came up big. Eventually, we get down to goalie pull time. Grubauer stops a couple of flurries of pucks, and eventually the Avs are able to win a defensive zone faceoff, get it moved up and out quickly, and Donskoy is able to dump it into the empty net to seal the game 3-1. Fun hockey, great hockey, and there's still room for the Avs to get better, and it's not that hard to see where, with Landeskog, one of the best defensive forwards in their lineup, coming back soon. This is it, man. This team is something special at this point. I don't think it's deniable. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching, and as always, head on over to thednvr.com. Consider signing up for a membership to check out our premium content and to support us. I am Rudo, and hockey like this just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It really fits the holiday spirit.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the big. The fun isn't over yet, it is Avalanche time.